Well, Georgia fans were freaking out, weren't they, in the first half of that South Carolina game? They were down 14-3, but everyone knew that Georgia was going to show their mettle and come back and win the game, and that is exactly what they did in the second half. 21-0, unanswered points by Georgia, and they end up winning the game 24-14 at home versus South Carolina. It was an interesting start to this game. In the first quarter, first drive, South Carolina had the ball first. 10-play drive, 65 yards. Rattler was 8 for 8 on third. And on third down and 16, Wells Jr. had a 17-yard touchdown catch. It was 7-0 South Carolina. Georgia had a 15-play drive, 62 yards. And on third and 9 at South Carolina's 13, it was stopped just short. They had to kick a field goal, 7-3. Then both teams traded 5-play and out drives. South Carolina was 5 and out. Georgia was 5 and out. South Carolina had a 3rd and 2. Blake had a 10-yard catch, and on 3rd and 8, Leggett had a 7-yard catch. So South Carolina was just short and had to punt the ball. Edwards for Georgia. Dejon Edwards had himself a day over 100 yards. 12-yard run. A flea flicker, a pretty ingenuitive flea flicker from Beck to Bowers was too high, but then Edwards had a 21-yard run, and on 3rd and 1, Edwards was just clobbered behind the line of scrimmage. 4th and 1, Delp double caught the ball, barely hangs on for a first down for Georgia, and then Beck had a 10-yard quarterback run, plus a personal foul late hit on South Carolina. It was 3rd and goal, and Georgia had a false start. And on 3rd and goal from the 18-yard line, the run was way short, about 10 yards short of the goal line. Georgia elected to kick the field goal and missed the 28-yard field goal. With 3:26 left in the half, South Carolina had a false start, and Rattler had a 9-yard run. A face mask on Georgia was called. Leggett had a 35-yard catch. Rattler then had an 11-yard run. Knox had an 18-yard catch to Georgia's 2-yard line, and Joyner had the 2-yard touchdown run. 14-3, South Carolina. Oh boy. 1 minute left. Georgia had the ball. Edwards had a first down run. Lovett had an 11-yard catch. Bowers had a 5 yards. But Beck was sacked by Banton, and that ended the half. 14-3 at halftime. Georgia came out on a mission, didn't they? 2 swing passes, easy first down for Georgia. Thomas had a 36-yard catch, and Milton had that 15-yard touchdown run. He was not going to be denied. Or 15-yard run, excuse me. Edwards then had that 7-yard touchdown run where he was not going to be denied. D'Elia game penalty on the 2-point try. 2 points would have brought it to within 3. But since that happened, the extra point was good. It was 14-10. South Carolina hanging on to that 4-point lead. South Carolina's next turn, their first possession in the second half. There was a hold on their return, and that is not how you want to start a drive. Rattler was sacked, 3 and out. They punted down to their own 49-yard line from their own end zone, and Bowers had a 12-yard catch. On 3rd and 7, Thomas had a 6-yard catch, so they were 1 yard shy. But on 4th and 1, the quarterback sneak was good by Carson Beck. Edwards had a 9 yards on a pitch play. Lovett had 12 yards on another swing pass. And Bell had a 3-yard touchdown run. Just like that, Georgia has the lead, never looked back. Lewis had a 23-yard catch for South Carolina. Joyner had a 7-yard run. Blake had an 11-yard catch. And on 3rd and 10, Rattler was sacked, and they were forced to punt the ball. Georgia had a 3rd and 2. Lovett had a 5-yard catch on their next possession. 3rd and 6, Rosemy Jack Saint had 32-yard catch, and Jones had a 7-yard run. We are now in the 4th quarter. It is still a 4-point game. But Georgia is driving. On 3rd and 3, there was a hold on Georgia. And on 3rd and 12, the pass was incomplete, and Georgia missed another field goal. South Carolina, though, right after that, 3 and out, Georgia's defense starting to clamp down. now. And Georgia, Bell had an 8-yard run and a 4-yard run. Edwards then had a 7-yard run and a couple of 5-yard runs. Grinding and eating the clock, Georgia was at this point. Rosemeese, Jack Saint had a 5-yard catch. Bowers had a 13-yard catch. Jones with a 13-yard touchdown run. It was 24-14 Georgia at this point. Rattler then had a 13-yard run. The game was over at that point. South Carolina moved the ball a little bit, but on 4th and 15, there was a turnover on downs. And then Georgia on 3rd and 2 was tackled for a loss, and on 4th and 4, it was basically for a win for Georgia, but they elected to punt the ball, and they pinned South Carolina way back, so a good decision there. South Carolina was intercepted by Jackson of Georgia, and Edwards had a 17-yard run, 6-yard run, ate a lot of the clock. On 4th and 1, there was a false start, and on 4th and 6, they had to punt the ball. But only a minute 33 left, and South Carolina needed 10 points. Rattler was intercepted again, this time by Smith, and the game was over. Georgia survives. Now, every team needs a game like this. It's a wake-up call. Georgia got through it, just like they did with Missouri and Kent State last year. So, no worries. Carson Beck looks amazing. And the running game got going there at the end versus SC competition on the road. Defense was lights out. Georgia, great performance, in my opinion. There you have it. Remember to stay tuned for tonight, Michigan, prime time versus Bowling Green. We'll see what comes from that game and what we can preen from that. Right now, Alabama is struggling with South Florida. It's late in the third quarter. They're only up 7 points. And UCF just got a big run into Alabama territory, all the way down to the 28-yard line. Oh boy, is this one going to be an upset? We'll see. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.